So here we are, two Matts, one market, with our first guest ever,
Yeah.
Becca Ponce,
Mm-hmm.
Goosehead Insurance. She's a big deal. She insures everybody who's in this room.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fact.
yeah, been working with us for a while, so thanks for coming on. You have been on before, though.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But this is the first time you've been on this spinoff of two Matts, one market. So to kick it off, I'm Matt Kirschling with Gold Star Mortgage.
I'm Matthew Kemps with Longwolf Realty Group at Spyglass Realty, and this is
Becca Ponce with Goosehead Insurance.
two Mats, one market.
There it is. So what are we covering today? I mean, we had some, chit chat in the lobby area or whatever you want to call it before this, and we touched on some topics. But what do we start with?
Well, I think Becca's gonna say that I didn't want to bring this up or that she brought it up, but she wanted to talk about life insurance.
Yes, I reminded Matt this morning that he might need some life insurance, considering he has a baby on the way.
That's
6
true.
weeks. 6 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So life insurance is definitely important. Matt, you need life insurance also.
I have more
need
life
more.
insurance than
You
I
need
know.
more.
Because at one point in time, I thought I might have children, and I didn't. But because of that, I even carry coverage that's really irrelevant at this point. But it doesn't make sense for me to get rid of it because I have such a low premium.
Right, exactly.
For those that don't know, myself, what does that? What is the point of life insurance? How much does it usually cost? How does the rates change by the amount that you can get paid out? Can you provide everyone a little bit more clarity?
Yeah, definitely. So, life insurance is kind of based off of a few different factors. You think about age, weight, height, demographic, and, they even think about racial, sorry.
Lifestyle,
Lifestyle.
your job.
Job, definitely. So, if you're a police officer, it's a little bit harder to get life insurance on. Pretty much what they do is they take all of your information and they assign you an equation. And this equation is going to represent on a sliding scale how much insurance you want. So you can go up to, a few $1,000,000. You can get something as low as $50,000 if you're just wanting to cover funeral costs. But a lot of people, get it particularly for their spouses, and spousal support kind of if they were to pass away. I think you could agree that Kaylee probably wouldn't want to work for a few months if you were gone,
Not throw a party, but that's
Yeah, not work, throw a party.
Yeah, she might want to go on vacation with the money,
Right.
But
I'm just kidding, babe. I know you wouldn't.
but it helps with things, like the mortgage, your bills. Most people don't have savings right now or can barely get by. So why not have life insurance for your family? Because a mortgage payment doesn't stop. Your cell phone bill doesn't stop. Your insurance payment doesn't stop. So it's good to just cover your bases, and kind of get yourself covered. It's kind of morbid to talk about, and you'll never see the money. So it's kind of, I feel like, a little bit hard for people to invest in because you're not seeing, anything back. There's a few different plans.
Well, it depends how you look at it. You could see it.
Yeah. There's insurance fraud, but it's
No,
okay.
I was talking about being a ghost, like watching down. Not
Oh,
fraud.
I thought you were like gonna
No.
fake your
If you
own
believe
death.
in afterlife.
Yeah, afterlife stuff.
I was thinking about him faking his own death. So
No,
that
no,
seems
we're-
more on brand for you.
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Okay, chop that out.
So what do you think are the reluctancies? Why is it that people don't, want life insurance, or their excuses of, not getting it? Like, what are your thoughts on that based on the conversation? Because I would envision you have a lot of those conversations.
Yeah, I feel like most of the worry, I guess, is more how much coverage do I need, and then we break it down, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's gonna be blah 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 amount, and they're like, oh, I can't afford that. That's how much my car payment is, or that's how much this or that is, and I can use it for this instead of that because I'm not going to see it.
Right.
And nobody likes to think about their death. Most people, when they die, they don't have their funerals planned. There's no final wishes. There's very, very small percentage of people have wills.
Yeah.
So where does your debt go?
I have one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have a will in place?
No.
See?
I mean, you can get it costs.
Well, family does. I
It
don't.
costs money, but yeah, you pay for it, and then you're kind of done, and then you can make changes on it. But I'm a little older than both of you. I mean, I didn't get my will until I was in my 30s.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, people wait until they're in their 30s because that's when they decide to, make the grown-up decisions, buy a house, have kids, now look at life insurance. When you really should be looking at life insurance when you're in your 20s, because you can pay for it, first of all, because typically you don't have a mortgage or kids yet. And you're going to lock in a way lower rate
That's why I did it.
than when you're 30, 40, 50, and it's even harder to get insurance when you're over 50.
Mm-hmm.
So getting it is super, super important as soon as possible.
Well, and you get a free health screening, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's how Magic Johnson found out that he had AIDS.
I have no idea.
Isn't it?
Positive
Yeah. Right?
results.
So at least this way, get a life insurance policy, and you can find out whether or not you have AIDS.
Yeah.
Nothing scary about that.
You might already know, but
Right. If you don't know,
Reiterate.
this is a way to find out.
Yeah.
So what are they typically testing for? Because that's another thing I've heard that is a reluctancy. I don't really like needles, and I never get excited about giving my blood, and that's one of the things that I know I had to do for years, and I think I haven't had to do it in a few years, but I think I have to do it like every 5 years or something.
So typically they're looking for, any type of underlying diseases that don't pop up, like HIV.
Yep.
It's sometimes you have no idea that you have things. They look for tobacco use.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How do they test for that?
Typically right now they're doing swabs,
Okay.
your mouth.
And this is tobacco, not nicotine, or both?
But no, it depends. So it depends on what carrier you're going with. So some just ask now if it's tobacco use.
Okay.
And some ask if it's nicotine use, including vapes.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what I was thinking about, all you young bucks with your vapes.
Not me.
No cap. On
Okay.
God.
stop. I watched
I
one of
like
those. I watched one of those TikToks of the guy who's like sitting there. What's the dance called?
I know what you're talking about, though. The
Yes.
floss.
No.
Oh, the other one, this
The
one?
Yeah. No. The one where he's going with his arms back. And
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go.
Okay, it's like a full-grown adult who's like 35 years old
Yes.
at the kids'
Yes.
place.
And
Yeah.
he's always wearing that like little dick energy hoodie. Yeah, he's funny. I like him.
He goes,
You should
no,
start
you
a channel like
Slurpee.
that.
You're doing too much,
Yeah,
Mom.
doing too much.
Anyway.
God.
Yeah, y'all should start a spinoff doing things like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it'd be fun.
I mean,
It'd be more funny if I was the dad and he was the guy doing.
Two Mats, One Market has, it's been a spinoff where we've made it a little funnier by suggestion from a
Skits.
lot of other, people, because sometimes real estate can just be too serious, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like life insurance.
Kind of like life
I know,
insurance.
I'm kind of bored. Let's
So
not
we've
talk about it
we've
anymore.
covered what they test for.
Yep.
We've covered that you might get AIDS, or you might find out you have
Get AIDS
AIDS.
if you buy life insurance.
But I guess for us in the mortgage industry, we kind of people ask from time to time, hey, is there any sort of because we see a lot of people that will call because through public information it shows who the lender that did the loan was, and a lot of these insurance cards that go to new home buyers have our name on it as if we're the ones sending them. And for the record, we don't send any information in regards to insurance. I wish I could. Every one of my clients, when you get mail from us afterwards, if this is involving insurance or they call it mortgage protection services, it is not from us. That's an insurance company. And if it's something you're interested in, I have people I can refer you to cover that. And basically the way they pitch it is as a policy that in the event that someone were to pass away, that the mortgage would be paid in full, which we all know is just a fancy way to, package a insurance policy,
Right.
right? Because when you say life insurance, people are like, ew, gross.
Mm-hmm.
But you say mortgage protection services, they're like, now I'm interested.
Right.
So there's a tip for you if you're ever.
Well, Pace Morby right there.
That's exactly what it is
Yeah.
to the T.
Yeah. Typically, I kind of go over, any debt that the client has,
Mm-hmm.
including mortgage, and make sure that that's going to be covered, in the event that they do pass away.
Yeah.
So their spouse can pay off the house,
Yeah.
pay off the cars,
Right. Right.
have, be a little bit more comfortable and relaxed.
Yeah. So what other objections do you get for life insurance that you would love to dispel on the podcast here?
You can never have too much life insurance.
Really?
In my opinion.
Okay.
I feel like you can never have enough insurance, but
Well, that's something an insurance agent would say.
yeah, I'm like, you need everything.
Got it.
$5 million umbrellas for everyone.
Yeah. Hopefully you never have to use them though, right?
Right, exactly. But, when you do, it's nice and it's there. And I have to have that conversation with people on their home insurance. You're only paying $2,000 a year. And if something happens to your house, we'll give you $500,000 to rebuild.
Wow.
I would trade someone $2,000 for $500,000.
I mean, at that point, yeah, it reminds me a lot of my business where I was actually watching one of our clips because somebody, basically made a comment that I need to stop giving real estate advice and trying to line my pockets. And I saw the comment before I even rewatched the clip, and I was like, what clip is this about? And the clip was me talking about how no matter what the market is, I don't typically see confident buyers, right? Like there's always some reluctancy to buy no matter what. Rates can be 2%, they can be 5%, home prices can be down, up. No matter what, people are always like, am I getting a good deal? And they want to somehow check or what am I trying to say? Find that silver bullet. And that was basically the comment that I made. And somehow I'm lining my pockets by saying that, now is a good time to buy. But really all I was saying was no one knows.
No one ever knows.
Right. All I was saying was no one ever knows. However, yes, looking in the rearview mirror, to your point on insurance, it's like, yeah, if something goes down and someone passes away and you're like, holy shit, I wish we had that insurance policy. That's a tough time to look back and say, boy, I wish we would have done things differently. Because right now we're in real estate, we're seeing the exact opposite, where we were closing deals with rates in the 2s and the 3s, and people were making offers way over asking, thinking that they were, getting kind of screwed with the real estate market. And now all of those people have completely changed their tune, and they're beating their chest, talking about what a great time it was to buy and how low their rate is. But, they never talk about how just scared or even frustrated they were at that exact moment.
Right.
So it's easy to look back, right?
Yeah, I've heard an insurance influencer. Most people don't watch insurance stuff, so I'm not even going to name them. But he said,
I've never even seen an insurance influencer.
Exactly.
That's a thing?
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to broaden my my horizons. I'm going to follow some insurance influencers. I
Yeah.
don't think it'd be bad for me, but go on.
Yeah. So he pretty much was, giving tips on how to present life insurance. And this one kind of stuck with me. He was like, you should ask your client what kind of insurance they would buy if they knew they only had 5 minutes left to live.
The most expensive one with the biggest.
Well, what kind? Life insurance.
Okay. Yeah.
Not how much, but
Understood.
what kind of insurance are you
Yeah.
going to buy? Not health
Life
insurance,
insurance.
not
Auto.
auto.
Yeah. I want to make sure my car's insured.
Depending on what's happening in that 5 minutes. But typically it's life insurance. So
Yeah.
you don't want to wait until that last 5 minutes, obviously.
I don't know.
And there's waiting periods, so you can't wait.
I'm
You
glad
can't
that.
call on your deathbed, just so you know.
Right. I'm glad that I'm not at this stage in my life yet, but I probably do know someone, we just don't talk about it. I don't think I know anybody who's gotten a pretty decent payout on a life insurance policy right now.
I thankfully have never met someone who has.
Yeah. I mean, even my parents are still alive, so there's,
Well, and that's another thing that people are doing right now is even if you have, enough money in your bank account to pay off everything that you have or everything is paid off, when you get these life insurance policies, you're also creating generational wealth.
Sure.
So, even getting $1 million policy, you might not need $1 million. Kaylee might not need $1 million, but
we
say
need
you
it.
put it in, everyone needs $1 million, but you know what I mean? To survive.
Yeah.
But if you put it, say, as Lily is the beneficiary, she has $1 million to do whatever she wants with.
Good point.
Boy,
And
God,
imagine.
I'm sold.
Becca's about to make a sale right here live on our podcast.
Well, I think that's how this started. I texted him last night and I was like, hey, do you have any life insurance?
I said no, and then she says, or then I respond, let's talk about it on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah.
So anything
so you're
else?
sold.
Anything else you want to cover about life insurance before we move on to some of the insurance questions that I have as a lender?
And as a real estate agent.
No. Like I said, just think about it. You don't want to ever have to buy it in your last 5 minutes.
Well, don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you do have questions, you need to reach out to Becca because she can answer them for you.
Again, her information is going to be down below in the description.
There it is. So my questions in regards to insurance obviously involve property and casualty because that's what I have to deal with. And I will tell you that I've been doing this long time, and it is the first time in, I think, no joke, I think in my entirety of my career as a loan officer right now is the biggest pain in the ass that I'm experiencing because of insurance. Because we all know that, anyone who's gotten insurance or shopped for it, or heck, you've probably seen your premium go up even if you haven't done anything. Insurance is more expensive nowadays, and people are just going crazy about shopping it. And it is one of those things that will hold up a loan closing if you haven't chosen your insurance. And we need it, ideally, 4 or 5 days before closing. And it seems to be something that even if I'm as direct as I am right now, and I'm like, if you don't get this, people, oh, well, we'll figure it out. It just seems to be this really chill thing that I have to create a sense of urgency on, and nobody seems to be pushing insurance but me. And I don't even sell insurance, right? I make no money on insurance. So do you feel that in terms of the premium costs, when you're talking to clients, are you still experiencing kind of that knee-jerk or initial, why is this so expensive? Or is it starting to become something that the public is aware of?
I think it's awareness now. I mean, people are aware.
I mean, it's
their
been about a year, right?
Yeah, and their auto rates have, normally flown up, and home normally goes along with that. And this isn't thankfully, but we've had a lot of weather events this year that kind of remind people,
Right.
hey, you do need insurance. Insurance does pay out on things, but it's going to continue raising our rates.
I got 4 clients sitting right now where listings are pushed off because we're waiting for hail damage roof and roof replacement, window replacements, and we got a bunch of stuff going on.
Well, and I'm not even talking about the replacement. I mean, we talked about it before we came in here where, for years, over a decade, I always ask clients, do you have somebody that you want to use for insurance? And if they're like, well, I currently with Allstate, and I'm like, do you know your rep? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you a few quotes and you need to make a decision from there. And they're like, great. They usually contact a few people. The spreads are all within, similar or whatever. And it usually is whoever is going to be the most, just on it, right? Whoever's going to pick up the phone, make the call, have a conversation, sell yourself, the insurance basically sells itself.
Right.
That's normally how things were, where people were just like, you know what, I got 3 quotes, they were all, but I really liked Becca. I'm like, great, we'll take care of it from here. That's all I need to know. Now it's you would think that they were shopping for life insurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're just picking everything apart. And well, I got to talk to this person and that person. And, I told you about the gentleman where he got 4 quotes and the quote he liked isn't calling him back. So now we're waiting for this mystery guy that is $20 cheaper because he's less expensive. But so you're seeing more buyers now that are conditioned to, because I hope we get back to what I would consider a normal insurance market, and at least on my end and what I have to deal with. Because I know when we talked, when you were on here the first time, you were like, yeah, I'm constantly having to defend the increase.
Yeah.
But you're seeing less of that.
Well, the nice thing now is everybody's taking an increase now. So
Right.
It's not
So the worst
carrier
is over.
A is, just blowing everyone out of the water anymore. Everything's pretty similar. So when people do start complaining about their rates now, there's not going to be anywhere that much better.
Right. Good.
So everything is kind of caught up. So it's not a surprise anymore.
Just make my life easier.
Completely.
And just, keeping y'all informed, keeping my loan officers, my real estate agents informed that, hey, $120 estimate is not going to be enough per month. You need to start quoting it at $200 a month.
Right.
and that's how it is.
I'm
does
there.
Does it make an effect for someone who? Okay, I'm gonna go to the investment side of things now.
Mhm.
Okay, let's say someone's buying an investment property and they're gonna do a long-term hold. Is that a different quote or a different price on their insurance compared to someone who's gonna do a flip?
Well, so there are going to be different types of insurance.
Okay.
So if you're going to start flipping a house, you have to have kind of like a rebuild insurance in case something happens during the rebuild.
Okay.
Then
Like a fire or somebody like hits a water line.
Okay. Let's just say the property was.
But no, it won't really affect the price either way,
Okay.
though. Yeah. So you're just going to have to make sure that your policy is written correctly.
Okay.
So that's another thing I feel like a lot of consumers right now are doing. They're kind of withholding a lot of information from insurance,
Yeah.
and that's not smart. It's better to just be forthcoming, because in the event of a loss, like insurance is going to figure it out and find out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a nonprofit
Right.
company.
So what
you
you're
know?
saying is don't fuck around and have to find out.
Right, exactly. Like if you're going to start construction on your home and you're going to, completely gut half of your house, let your insurance agent know.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, and a lot of things are just endorsements. So it's not anything crazy. It might increase your rate, $10 to $20 a month, but in the event that something does happen, you're covered.
Got it. So that's a good public service announcement insurance-wise. Is there anything else that you feel like that you are saying more than you should have to that the public is either asking or just
Stop
doesn't?
hitting other people.
Stop.
Please stop getting in car accidents.
Car accidents?
It is so bad.
Yeah?
So bad right now.
I don't even want to say it because I don't want to jinx myself, but yeah.
Hey, you know what? You're covered.
Yeah, that's true.
You're covered.
I almost hit a deer for the first time though. It's that time of year.
They're
and
everywhere.
They're everywhere in Ohio, and I'm like used to it. I kind of have like a sixth sense for them. And this one was normally they jump across the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one was standing in the middle of the road, like just asking for it.
Just want to take it.
And I luckily it was a 2-lane road, and I was able to swerve around it, but it was one of those moments where I was like, I almost smoked that thing. And I drive a pretty big car, and it would have been fine. Like, not the deer, me.
Yeah.
But
that's another thing. If you are about to hit an animal, do not slow down. Do not swerve. Keep going.
I did both, and I
don't scream, swerve, or
and
slow down.
And Bambi got to live another day. So.
Well.
And moving on from Bambi.
I'm like, no, kill that deer.
Right. Just don't slow down, don't swerve. But I hear what you're saying because, like, Ina told me, she's like, if you had like maybe like a Honda Civic or something like a little less, tuned or whatever you want to call it, like you probably would have wound up in a ditch.
Yeah.
I'm like, that would have been, then Bambi would have got to live. My car would have been wrecked.
Died.
Well,
and you would have needed the life insurance and
see,
so on and so
just
forth.
bringing it
Make
all
sure you have
back.
auto insurance.
Bringing it
yes.
all back.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass.
So I do live in fear.
Always.
Always.
The life of an
Yeah.
insurance agent.
Yeah, I'm like, that seems kind of like a risky behavior, which is surprising because I used to be a lot of fun, and now I'm like, don't step on that crack, you might trip.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You got anything coming up around the holidays that your brokerage is doing? Anything fun? Any announcements we need to know about?
Not right in this moment.
I know we're doing that real estate education event.
Yeah.
January, what is it, 9th or 8th?
Mm-hmm.
We'll
I
get
think
there.
of like holidays at, January 1st and on is
Oh,
no longer holidays.
Got it.
That's selling season.
Got it.
That is like game on again.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Kemps?
Just the events that we're going with you guys too.
Good.
But nothing really.
What else do we need to know real estate wise? Have you guys been seeing anything, any new talks, anything new? I mean, right now, just for those that are watching, we're right after the Thanksgiving holiday, and everybody's got that little turkey hangover, and Christmas is coming, and I feel like we're in that season where all of the clients are like, I'm gonna wait till next year.
I'm on the opposite trend.
Yeah, you're on it, man. That's good. So what's your secret?
Guys keep calling me. That's the only secret is people just woke up either on Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving. And I'm not sure if it was your family and friends that were in town that same week. And you're like, oh, fuck it, let's go see some real estate.
Gotta get out of the house.
Yeah, I don't know if that was, you were looking at the and you're like, oh, no, I gotta get out. Well, thanks. I got 2 contracts from you guys, so it wasn't like completely just like waste my time.
Yeah.
I showed 17 houses on Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that was tied my record. There was a chance to go to 18, and I just gotta go. No, we're done. It's 7:30. Let's go to bed.
So seeing 18 homes, I like that because one of the things that, we've talked about is with it being a little slower, it's like our real estate agents that are slow right now qualified to kind of talk about what's on the market. So you saw 18 homes
17.
excuse me,
break my record.
just on Sunday, and then for the rest of the week, I mean, between all 5 days, because you were calling me, I mean, you had to have seen over 25 homes, right?
17, 13, and then like Christmas, Thanksgiving Day. I showed all the way until about 2:30 that in the afternoon that day, from about 9 to 2:30.
Wow.
And
So what are you seeing? I mean, as far as the market is concerned, what's
honestly,
the inventory look
multiple
like?
offers, dude.
Still multiples?
Yeah. So I lost in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I got new construction under contract, and then I'm also seeing land prices are absurd, like beyond absurd.
Why do you think that is?
They never really took a hit. Land in Texas especially Texas. Land in Texas is running out. I shouldn't say running out. You can't create more land,
Yeah, of course.
so it's not like there is a supply and demand portion there. So you're still gonna have a demand for land in Texas.
But what are
because
your clients saying? This is the thing that always interests me because, like, we can sit on here and we can talk about kind of things that you're
Analysts,
making
yeah.
mention of. But then when I ask a client, like, well, where's your head at with land and, like, where is this coming from? Because
So,
there's this, like,
yeah.
whole other, you
So
know.
I'll give you an example. Really cool couple I met over Thanksgiving week. We went to go look at HCH Ranch, which is the Canyons in Georgetown.
Mhm.
Probably the coolest neighborhood in Georgetown, my opinion. Total opinion. Take what you want from it.
Right.
It's got these canyon views, like if you're in River Place, but you're in Georgetown,
Mm-hmm.
and it's absolutely badass. But a minimum lot for an acre there is starting at $380.
Oh, wow.
Average price per an acre right now is $225. So clearly, it's a little more pricey.
Now, is this just, like, raw land or is this, like,
This is owned by Grand Endeavor Homes.
okay.
You can either purchase the land up front, or we approach you and say, can we do a construction loan and do a wrap, and ask you to build in the land with the construction.
Yep.
That was the first option. Then they said $380 for a piece of land with a cool view is awesome, but we also kind of want more of a country view too. So we're getting really picky on what we want right now, and that's almost 90% of the buyers I'm working with. 10% of them being investors, which is 100% of that 10%,
Yep.
are not picky. They're all just number based. But of the ones that we looked at this weekend, they liked the land, but it was too high a price for them to ultimately get to their sales price of where they wanted it. So we were expecting it to be 1.5 mil. They thought if we can get the land a little bit cheaper, even though we were building that into the price point of 1.5, that it might actually be cheaper over the long run. I ran the numbers with them, explained to them, all right, this is what land cost at $225 an acre would be. This is what your build would be based off this exact builder, because this builder can build on whatever lot you own. They can come out and build for you. It came out to be about $150,000 to $200,000 cheaper to do it, build on your own lot. So I guess that makes sense. But they didn't get the view, and they're not in the subdivision, and to me that had a ton of appeal.
Well, and that's all good information, but I guess my question is like, I have never seen as much of a kind of interest in all of that, what you just described, by the general public than I have in the last.
That's just we have all. So I've read this book. It's called Multifamily Millionaire, and he refers to Zillow, Realtor.com, and all these sites as portals.
Yep.
Okay, you can register in these portals. Is what they keep calling them. I can send your own portal from our website too, which is all IDX search basically.
Right.
Their consumer has so much more information through, let's call them these portals, that they're seeing almost the exact same data I'm seeing, except for the portion of disclosures, which as an agent, I just provided the clients.
Sure.
That's an added value, I guess, if you call it that. That's just like basic work. They can't run their own comps like I would, and with the tools I have, unless they go out and buy them themselves. And if you're doing that, you might as well be a real estate agent. But I'm also noticing 80% of the people I work with think they're their own real estate agent and make their own decisions. And even though I give them advice what to do, it's like, hey, I'm the older brother that's going to try to figure something out on my own. I'm going to learn the hard way. If your opinion, don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'll agree with that. And again, going back to my original question, like, what is it about everybody that is like, do you think there's like is it a flex? Is it like Like what is enticing about going through a new
Trust.
build?
They don't know me that much. They didn't trust me.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying in general, like as someone who's owns homes, we everybody owns homes, and you can look at existing, you can look at what I call like new build in terms of, a builder owns the land and you can do that, or there's like full blown custom build. And there is something that I can't pinpoint, but I get more people recently over the last few years that are calling me and they're like, I want to build. I don't even want to mess around with, existing, real
It's
estate.
cheaper.
It's cheaper what?
In their mind, it's cheaper to do that.
Right. I think that's what it is. So
It's
like,
not.
I know that, but
Yeah.
like, so where is this? I always think about like trends, right? Because
Yep.
we've talked about this 100 times where like we can come on here, we can present data, we can show charts, we can look at historical stuff, we can even admit that no one has a crystal ball. And we do this day in and day out, 7 days a week. But then the general public can have a completely different opinion. And my question is, where does that come from? Where does that come from? Where is it that you've got people that are like, I'm going to build a home, I'm going to buy a piece of land, I'm going to develop it, I'm going to put utilities in it, I'm going to build it, custom build,
TikTok.
and like, well, and then here's the crazy part. It's like,
Right.
and my wife and I, right, combined make like 150K a year. It's like, where does that come from? I don't know. And that's like,
HGTV.
you know what? That's a good point. I think
That's
that
what
might be
it
part
is.
of
Have
it.
you guys seen those like memes and it's like they make like
She raises salamanders and he
picks carrots on the weekend.
Right.
But they're looking for like a $2 million
Right.
cottage style home.
But like as a lender,
Such
that
a
is
joke.
that is one thing that's interesting
it's
to
real.
me is the amount of people that if I told them that we could do that and I showed them a payment of like $5,000 a month, they would be like, "Can I afford that?" No, I'm serious. I mean, in all ages.
I know
like,
you
this
are. That's
isn't
why I'm
like a
laughing.
millennial thing or either. Like, it's not like young people. It's like, well, so we obviously have parameters in regards to like what we will lend to you. But like, I think that's more of a question you have to like look inward, because
Mm-hmm.
just because maybe with your mathematical budget you could afford a $5,000 monthly payment, like, does that meet your lifestyle? Like,
It's almost like it's like the brain when a consumer asks you that doesn't have like this like picture of an Excel spreadsheet popping up of like all their expenses going on.
I don't
Like,
know how.
It's girl math.
Yeah,
It is girl math.
It's girl math.
that's what
right
it
there.
is. Oh, she's on it.
It's girl
If
math.
we already have cash, it's free.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If we're getting a refund and we go buy something else, it was like it
was free.
Yeah, it was free.
It's totally what it is. Because again, like even the idea of sometimes people will call and they'll be like, "Yeah, we looked at some homes. We don't like any of them," right? And I'm glad that you brought this up because maybe you're right. Maybe
Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you. Moving equity over is like a free house.
right, correct. I mean, because like maybe
Definitely.
people do think it's less expensive to build, and if that's the case, like it's not. It's not. It never is, right? It's the difference between buying a new car. Like I see people that do this all the time, where they're like, "Yeah, we decided to buy a brand new car. It was just way less expensive than getting a used one." And I'm like,
What are you talking about?
"How?
Yeah.
How?" And they're like, "Well, with the auto incentives, I got a lower rate, and they were giving me 70 months, and with the used car, I could only finance it based on like 60, and I got a higher rate."
The used car salesman in me is like, yes, Matt, that's real. Consumers, that's real. It's real.
So I think maybe like if you think a new build is less expensive, maybe that's the route to go. Because when you look at homes and you can't find anything in your price range that you like, it's because you can't afford anything you like.
Well,
And
people
it's
don't
like,
look at they don't look at, I think, total sales prices anymore because you can finance
Pays
just
more
about
be-
everything.
that's not true. In fact, what we learned was that there's only two things that people look at right now, and that's pictures and price.
Yep.
They can't wrap their head around payment, and that's what they
Really?
should.
Mm.
Because we offer incentives with 2-1 buy downs, we offer
Mhm.
incentives with permanent buy downs, we have ways to show affordability, but people get overly fixated on how much. I'm dealing with it right now with a client who we were able to negotiate $20,000 worth of seller credits, and now that he's kind of like looked at it, he wants to reduce his purchase price and reduce his seller credits.
Mine?
What? No.
Oh.
He wants to reduce his purchase price and reduce his seller concessions because he is so fixated on the price.
I think
'Cause
that's
that's where we were a few weeks, like 2 days ago. We were at that point.
Right.
I think that's an Austin issue right now too, in our area, maybe further out, but I feel like a lot of people talk a lot about how much houses are here now.
Yeah. Well, and I have to
And
say this before I get murdered, right? By, for lining my pockets. Reducing the purchase price and reducing the seller concessions, if you have a crystal ball and you can guarantee me that interest rates will drop by about 2% in the next 10 to 14 months, then we could look back and be like,
Genius.
you're a genius,
Mhm.
right? Because interest rates have been up now for 20 months. And I remember when rates went up in March, watching loan officers on TikTok, social media, all this other stuff, telling people rates are going down in 2023. Well, here we are 20 months later, and rates have, in fact, they've gone up. So, again, I wasn't saying either.
Mhm.
All I am saying is like that strategy that we just talked about of reducing seller concessions and reducing the purchase price is not a bad strategy
Mhm.
if interest rates drop by 2% in the next 12 to 14 months.
Right.
And then I'll call this dude and be like, genius, you're a genius. But no one knows, right?
Mhm.
So sorry, I just had to say, like, someone's going to roast me like, oh, well, what if this and that?
So
Does that mean you're like a real content creator? I almost called you an influencer, but
I
you have haters.
oh, they're absolutely.
I think that means he's official.
I'm
blue
hated.
check.
I'm hate. I get more
Do you
hate
have
than
one?
what?
A blue check?
No blue checks.
Matt.
Listen,
I think you can buy him now.
I'm new, okay? I'm new.
He needs a blue check.
Matt and I make fun of people who buy blue checks.
Yeah, right?
Well, you need one.
I don't need a blue check, but I definitely have haters. I try not to read all of the comments because some of them are just silly, but I just read one today, like I said, but yeah.
And also, just to clarify Matt's comment, new construction sometimes is cheaper. It's when you want to buy the land, you want to do the full development, and you want to go that process. That is more expensive.
See, but to me, that's different than like it's very what's it called? We just had Thanksgiving, and it always reminds me of when I'll talk to someone and they're like, "We're building a house," and like just alarms go off. I'm like, describe that to me, like picking countertops and cabinets, or like breaking ground and building with a custom builder. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going with like Lennar." I'm like, okay, you're not building a house. Like, you're getting a new home. It's a new build, but like you're not building that house. Like, go in and tell them that you want to put in like diamond countertops or something and see what they say. Like,
ask them to change the structural walls of the property
right.
and see what they say.
Exactly. You're not building a house. Like, and if you don't buy it, someone else will.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, and I'll give Grand Endeavors a little prop here. You can do a full custom design with them, even though, quote unquote, they do have their own floor plans and everything else. They allow you to bring in their architects, and you can do a full change to everything else. So you kind of get a little best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I know that's not cheaper.
That
It's
sounds
not cheaper.
expensive.
No.
So yeah, that's what I've been trying to figure out over the last whatever, and I think you have nailed it. The answer is that people think it's less expensive maybe to build because they're looking at homes that they don't like, and they're like, you know what, we'll just build one.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
If you buy a container and you build a container home, that might be cheaper.
oh my God, dude, that was like a thing like 2 or 3 years ago. People were asking me about container homes.
During COVID, I feel like everybody was getting kind of
So when I was
creative.
when I was first getting my license, and I was at the first brokerage I was ever looking at, the guy I randomly just thought, I'm gonna just go drive around town and just figure this shit out. So I'm driving around this guy, and he told me he owns a container company that basically builds either commercial space or residential space with containers. And like I had to wrap my mind around this because it was the first time I ever heard of that. I'm like, why the fuck would someone want to live in a container?
Why would someone want to live in a container? I
Right?
don't know.
Okay, so I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, all right, maybe it's always cold. You don't have to really worry about getting hot inside.
You definitely have to worry about getting hot inside. It's metal.
It stays way more cold than it does get hot.
In 110 degrees?
I think if he's building them, there's probably like
They have to insulate it.
insulation, So
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
I'm
wouldn't
just,
even be an
I'm just trying to
issue.
think outside of like, okay, what about this house is so appealing? It's cheap. It's modern, square, like
I mean,
lines,
sure.
I guess.
Maybe modern. I'll
Okay,
give
so
you that.
anyways, long
It's
story
like
short,
a Subaru person kind of thing.
it's fucking hilarious. Actually, the dude
Yeah.
drove a Subaru,
Literally, see?
good old Outback.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
He just upgraded from his Impreza.
Mhm.
So you have one of those little, they have those stickers on the back. You can like add to them. It's like a charm bracelet for your car. And you, like people have like third, so it's like their third
We're gonna lose
Subaru.
business from this, but that's who Matt and I make fun of.
It's okay.
Yeah, well, Subarus, they make good cars. They just, you know, they got
It's
a
a type of person.
they got a cult following. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the scenario of containers.
Yes,
Okay,
containers.
it's modern and good old stuff, right? Lago Vista was really big about this,
Hmm.
and then I kept asking like, why this business? He goes, well, 'cause it's so cheap for us to do this. I'm like, it's way cheaper than me doing a construction company and go the whole process. I'm like, all right, what's it cost you to build a container home? He goes, on average, each container costs you about $10,000 to $15,000. Then we add our insulation, we add all of our appliances, we add everything else. And I can do about a container home, about 4 or 5 of them for about 950 square feet. I'm like, okay, so it's like a studio basically. He goes, how much does that cost you? He goes, about $120,000. I'm like,
Wait, what?
why that much?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I got to do all the appliances, I got to get the walls, I got to get everything into it. And I'm like, dude, you can build a 950 square foot studio for like 150 grand. Like why have to go through the studio port, or why have to go through the container portion?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, well, we're doing great right now. Yeah, that guy's bankrupt now.
Look at that. The only thing I could think for a container home that does make a little bit of sense, and I'm really reaching here, is the same thing about we've talked about this with manufactured properties, right? So like if it's in a location that's very difficult to get like concrete
Yeah.
trucks and get supplies to and everything along those lines, like maybe dumping a container home on a lot that's, very beautiful, like on the edge of a mountain type of thing. Like that's typically the only time I've ever financed a manufactured home where I'm like, okay, I get it. Or if it's in like the middle of nowhere and, it's on like 150 acres in the middle of nowhere and like it's just not cost effective to build out there.
Like examples that he was given the last podcast was out towards like outside Seattle, Washington
State.
Yeah.
We see, we've refinanced manufactured properties in Washington State that are like oceanfront on like multiple acres and this was like 10 years ago, that were in the like $600,000-$700,000 range.
Wow.
So I'm sure they're over $1 million now. And these are manufactured like double wides,
You can get a nice double wide.
You can, but you can get a nice container home, but it's still a fucking container home. Like I just don't get it,
I got double wide for lease right now.
There you go.
Good old Tommy won't mind if I say his name on the podcast.
Yeah.
But good old Tommy Ledbetter.
Yeah. Good dude.
Well, they have a whole container bar.
No, that's gone.
It's gone.
That's
Oh,
gone.
it's gone now?
Yep.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, 3.1 million of architectural design and build gone.
Highest and best use is what they determined, was that area was not highest and best used as like a bar scene. And then when I read all of the comments on the article that I read online, I wasn't here at this time, but I guess like 25 years ago, that was like a really nice, kind of Latino neighborhood that.
One of my best friends from high school, his dad owns, still, I don't know if they've now sold everything, but he owned the house that Unbelievable was in.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Like in high school, it was still just a house.
Yeah. No, it's a cool concept. I mean, when I first got here, I was like, man, this is cool. I love this. But then I quickly realized that I can't be there past midnight.
You might get killed.
Well,
that's where I was about to
not
go with
only
it.
that, I'm
Serial
just a
killer.
little too old for, they have those memes where you're like, yeah, when you're in your 30s, you see people and you're like, I can hang with people in my 20s, and then like after midnight, you're like, all right, I know I know why I can't do this anymore. And
Yeah.
it's one of those areas, but I'll miss it.
Nor do I want to.
Yeah. It's a special place though. So what's going to be the next thing? I mean, I've heard
Bell District.
Where's that?
Leander,
I'm so excited for that.
where the new domain's going to be.
It's
Okay.
really cool.
I'm not even hip to that.
Okay,
Let's
so
let's tell our listeners.
All right, so this is going to be your best investment opportunity I can bring you for gentrification.
Let's do it.
Okay, so there is a neighborhood by the name of Buttercup Creek. It's
Coming for you.
Yeah, no, seriously, I am no. 1960, 1970, 1980 builds. Kind of a little bit worn down now. If you buy something in there and you plan for a fixer-upper and you get a tenant in there in the next year to 2 years, you are going to be sitting on a crazy appreciation because of the amount of traffic that's going to be driven to Bell District. So basically take the domain and divide it by 2, just shy of 2. That's how big it's going to be.
Wow. And so what's it going to be? Just kind of like a domain
Same
shopping?
thing, the exact same as
just-
domain. Like just take
And this
literally
is
take
in
copy and
Leander,
paste.
you said?
So it's on the like road you would take to go into Leander if you didn't take the toll.
Okay. Okay.
What is that?
Is
This
it
is where
Bell?
I think it is
Is
Bell.
it Bell?
No.
So
no,
that's
'cause
where
Bell,
they're building that
yeah,
huge
it is Bell.
highway?
It is Bell.
It is Bell.
It is Bell.
And it's cool too because it's right next to the metro train tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever been on it, but shout out Leander Chamber of Commerce. I went on it with them.
They've got that huge HEB right there, right? And then they're running the highway like right down the center. So I have friends that
No,
live
that's
o-
my house.
Yeah. That's
No.
what-
So okay.
That's further up.
Okay, so
Okay.
ready? We're gonna go map of Austin.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Yep.
Your house.
Yep.
Okay. Domain now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going up to 45.
My house right here.
Okay.
Okay. 183 is here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is where new domain.
Got
is.
it.
Think like 4 miles north of Lakeline.
Yeah. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's going to be a whole nother thing, huh? I'll have to check that out.
Leander's, I think, in the top few cities in the United States right
You know
now
who's-
for growth,
They got
right?
good schools, right?
You know who's number one
In
for the last 2 years, and again this year.
in the country or in Texas?
By the U.S. By the U.S. Census Bureau, who's the fastest, most growth of all cities in the entire country.
Mm.
Georgetown, Texas.
Okay. I guess I could see that. Ina was just there. I go there for a lot of closings and stuff, so I'm up there probably at least once a month, go and visit you guys. And she doesn't really go up there very often, and she went up there to meet with somebody, and they went out to downtown Georgetown and had lunch and everything, and she came back, and she's like, we need to go to Georgetown. I was like, I'm there like once a month at least. She's like, I just love it there. Like, it's the other side of the world.
To leave South Austin.
It's the other side
Yeah,
of the
you
world.
need to leave South Austin.
I love it down here. South Austin's my stuff. So
It is his hood.
I
It
love
is, man.
Georgetown. Georgetown's awesome.
I
That's
love
where
the
my
music
agency
scene. I'm
is.
so close to downtown, which is fun. You know.
Yeah, but
Hey, what's the restaurant that's on Barton Springs? Starts with a J. Right next to, it's like a wine bar. It's next to Mesquite Creek.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, Juliet's.
Yes, they opened a
Mm.
Juliet's on the square.
Yeah,
So what used to be, I forget.
that's where she went.
Really, Juliet's.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
got
right
good
in the
stuff.
corner. It just so if she must have gone last like week or so because it just opened like 2 weeks
It
ago.
was last week.
Yeah,
It was Wednesday.
yeah. And then other cool part about Georgetown Square is it's open container on the square.
That's cool. I like that.
So like you
Mhm.
go into a bar, you go into a brewery, or you go into a winery. You can walk out on the square. You can literally have your bottle, or you can have your glass, whatever you want. You can walk the entire square, go try different tacos, go try different desserts or ice creams, go to the candy shops. Go
It's like a
into-
bougie, dirty six.
It really is.
It's like a
except the average age
family-friendly-
is 63
Yeah. A little different, but yeah.
Yeah.
instead of 17.
Yeah. College ID night. So
Yeah.
what else do we cover, guys? I mean, we've been rolling for a minute.
I think we need to get Becca into Lone Wolf Kitchen.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay,
What is that?
so Lone Wolf's Kitchen is when we do some sports picks.
You need something to write with? We got a pen and a little.
No, I think we're good
I
because
thought we were about to bake something.
it sounds
Yeah,
like
we are.
because we're
We're gonna
so
bake up some spreads.
I'm
Yeah.
going to teach y'all how to make sourdough bread.
You're about to get you get Lone Wolf Chef over here.
Yeah, tell us about your sourdough bread while he's pulling everything up.
She
Ugh,
gave
Becca's
me some.
got- Becca's
It's
got a
my
amazing.
new
new-
obsession. Yeah, I got a sourdough starter. I had been thinking about kind of taking this new hobby under my belt
Mm-hmm.
for the last few months. I have a good friend in Montana who also makes sourdough bread, and he's a Goosehead agent as well. And he takes it to all of his realtors and loan officers. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Love
great
sourdough
idea.
bread. Yeah.
So
I've
I
been-
started making it.
I've been having her sourdough bread and then sourdough with jalapeno cheddar,
Jalapeno cheddar. She asked me. Yeah.
avocados. Just doing avocado toast with it every morning. Oh my god, it's
The jalapeno cheddar is really good. I need to bake you some.
I would love
You're on
that.
my list.
Okay. Love
All
it.
right. Lone Wolf Kitchen. Here we go. All right, let's start with college. We're gonna have all of our conference championships. So we got.
This is where I always lose.
He does better in NFL.
Yeah.
But all right, Oregon ranked 6, Washington ranked 4. Line opened at -7.5 Oregon. It's now at -9.5 Oregon. Sir Kirschling, who do you want?
Washington who?
University of Washington, the Dogs. They're ranked number 4 in the country.
I'm still taking the Ducks.
Okay, -9.5.
Yeah.
This is a huge spread. I'm actually surprised, but I'm on the Dogs.
Okay.
You want to pick here?
I'm really confused on what we're doing.
We're making bets on sports.
Are you making the bets actively?
No, but so what happens is just okay.
Oh, you're just recording yourself say. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we record it, and then when you'll see it on the video, okay, at the bottom we got a little ESPN ticker,
Oh, okay.
and then as
okay.
soon as I say the teams, the editor is going to basically roll over a team logo and then a team logo, and then he puts one of our headshots next
Okay.
to it.
Okay,
Okay.
I like it. I like
So
it.
who do you
do you
gonna
want?
choose between Oregon and Washington State?
Oregon.
Okay,
You
so-
and I.
I'm gonna just
two
choose
Organs?
my favorite word.
There
perfect.
we go. Hey, sometimes that's the best way to do it.
It kind of is. All right, Big 12 championship. Oklahoma State opened up at plus 10.5. Texas is minus 14.5. Oklahoma State. That was so confusing. Restart that. Oklahoma State is plus 14.5. Texas is minus 14.5. This is the
Right.
Big 12 championship. The line opened at plus 10.5.
Texas.
Okay, same here.
I'll go with Texas.
Okay, there we go.
You're
By the
about
way-
to have more haters.
By the way, I'm
I
pretty.
know. I just want to win, right?
I don't know. Bundy's pretty sick though. Okay, let's go. Georgia versus Bama. So this is the SEC championship.
Mhm.
Okay, line open at minus 4.5.
Who?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Okay, so Georgia is favored minus 6 now. Bama plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want?
Bama.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bama too.
you have no chance. Georgia, go Dogs. Okay, let's do one more. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Louisville opened at plus 6.5 against Florida State, which is now minus 2.5. So Louisville plus 2.5. Florida State minus 2.5.
Seminoles, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Seminoles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Louisville. Florida is a weird state.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go.
You can literally
Watch Becca
on-
like lock all these in. You and I were like,
just
what the
based off
fuck
of
just
my
happened?
what do I like?
You're gonna start calling Becca, being like, all right, which one? She's like,
Yeah.
I like the letter P.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go with Princeton.
Okay. Let's go. Sunday football.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get a good one. All right. Detroit Lions against New Orleans Saints.
How about that game on Thanksgiving? Ugly.
Mm-hmm. How about last
Ugly.
night?
I didn't see last night.
We didn't either because we stopped watching. It was so bad. Okay. Detroit opened at plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
They're now minus 4.
How? What happened?
Obviously, it's going to be a lot of money down on Detroit.
Okay.
So New Orleans is plus 4. Detroit is minus 4.
I mean, I want to go Detroit.
I'm gonna say New Orleans because I still feel bad for them.
For what?
Katrina.
Wasn't that like 15 years ago?
Yes.
I still feel bad for them.
That's what I was
Yeah.
asking for. What? Okay. I'm on Detroit here as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go Detroit. You got Saints. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a good one. Atlanta minus 3, Jets plus 3. It opened at 6.5.
Is Aaron Rodgers going to play?
I don't think so.
I saw him interviewing him today while I was at lunch.
Do I need to look up an article to say that he is?
I don't know.
No. Just plan on no.
I'll still take the Falcons.
Okay. How about you?
I'm gonna take the Falcons.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Jets.
Okay. You like the spread?
Yep.
I chose the Falcons because I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's very
He's
fair.
weird.
Oh, my favorite of the
Well, he's not playing.
This is my favorite one
It's still his
Okay.
team.
because we always have the Browns on this. Browns opened up at minus 2.5,
It's got to be like -6 now.
plus 3.5 Browns.
How? We have so many injuries.
Well, that's why it's what. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry. Other way.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then Rams minus 3.5. Who do you want? To me-
Browns were not choosing lack of creativity.
They're talking about bringing in Flacco.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's the.
I
current-
kind of want to see him win then. So plus 3.5. I'm on the Browns.
They don't even have a mascot.
Yeah,
we
they do.
The
That's-
brownie elf.
Okay,
I'll take the Browns.
Okay, good.
that
There we
doesn't
go.
count. It's not a real elf.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
elf
it is.
on the
It's a
shelf.
mythical creature.
It's an elf on the shelf.
okay. So now I'm gonna give you some trivia questions.
Okay.
Okay, that my wife asked me that I almost didn't even know. Well, one of them I didn't know, the other one I figured out. Okay, what is the only NFL team with a logo that not going the correct way? So like all the logos are usually, if there's the helmet, if like this is the helmet, right? The logo's pointing that way.
Mm-hmm.
So for the viewers, the logo's pointing this way. Which logo is pointing this way? You got
Kansas City.
you got 20 seconds.
It's got to be Kansas City. The spear is going that way. Okay.
I'm gonna blow your brain away. I'm gonna Google it real quick to show you. I was.
Is it the
Oh, excuse me.
Dolphins?
Nope.
The Dolphins not jumping the right way?
Mm-mm.
Is it
I mean, I know
the
that.
Broncos?
Nope.
Is the Bronco backwards?
Nope.
I don't know. Who is it?
Eagles.
Okay.
It's going the wrong way.
Let me see.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's like diving down.
Into the ground.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
into
the
yeah,
human.
it like
It's
dives.
the only one
You know,
pointed
they
that
get
way.
down
It kind
on
of
the
makes
ground.
sense.
Yeah.
When you think about
They
it.
get
Yes.
down on the ground and tackle each other.
All right. What else you got?
Okay. Who are the 5 teams in the NFL that are red, white, and blue?
Patriots. Red, white, and blue.
Which took me a while too. The 5th one is the hardest one.
The
So-
Bills.
Yep.
Titans. I know they're like. I mean,
That was the hard one for me.
yeah, because it's baby blue,
Yeah.
but it's still blue.
Oh, the red's hard. The red's like faint into it.
Yeah. Titans.
'Kay.
Let's think about this.
I just went West Coast.
Texans.
Yep.
There's
Got one more.
got to be someone in Florida. Who am I forgetting in Florida?
It's not Florida.
It's not Florida. No, it's not Arizona. No. Bears have orange.
Think of a red team.
Okay. But they also have blue.
See about the hints I can give you.
A red.
What quadrant of the United States are they in?
The one that you're missing?
Mm-hmm. Only missing one.
The one you're missing is gonna be.
No, can you tell us where the other ones are
Oh,
that we've already named?
Okay, let's go over what you've named already. You've named the Titans.
Yep.
You've named the Bills.
Uh-huh.
You've named. I'm just gonna go through the list.
The Texans
The Texans,
The Patriots.
and the Patriots.
Patriots. There's one more.
Oh, I got it. The Giants.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right, I've got one for you.
Okay.
What is the only team that has their logo on only one side of their helmet? Every other team has their logo on both
Pittsburgh
sides.
Steelers.
Yep.
Damn.
Steelers are the only one. I only know that because Cleveland, you got to watch them all the time.
I don't know any trivia questions for y'all.
Okay.
Sorry.
I've got a basketball one.
Okay, go.
What are the only basketball teams, I believe there's 3 of them, that their name doesn't end in the letter S?
Okay, hold on.
Heat.
Yep. My wife's calling me. Should we put it on blast?
Yeah. Make sure you hold the speaker up to the mic.
Hey, you're on the podcast with us right now, okay?
Oh, okay.
Say
I
hi.
didn't know your podcast was running this long.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Kaylee, we have a question for you.
Okay, what's your question?
Name the 3 basketball teams in the NBA that their mascot doesn't end in the letter S.
Oh, I'm not good at basketball.
I did the Eagles and the 5 red and white teams.
Oh, you did that one?
Yeah.
So Becca
don't-
got the first one, which is the Heat.
Yeah.
There's 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's not Celtics. It's not Lakers. It's not Hornets. Timberwolves, no. Pacers, no.
Thunder?
That's the second one.
Okay.
Yay. Hmm.
They were in the playoffs last year.
Heat, Thunder, Jazz?
There it is.
Stud. All right, I'm dropping the mic on that one. Love you, bye.
No, we have. Wait. Yeah. Wait. How many are there supposed to be?
I thought it was 3.
You got them all. Unless there's one more.
Oh.
Why? Is there something I forgot?
No. 3's
I-
right.
I thought it was
I think.
3.
I was really hoping she was about to go. Yeah, there's 4, dumbass.
Yeah. It's like, shit.
All right, love you, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, are we wrapping it up?
Let's wrap it up.
We got Mama calling us, telling us to come home. Street lights are going to be on soon. So typically we go around the horn and just reintroduce and let everybody know exactly what it is this particular episode that we're looking for. So, I'm Matt Kirschling with Gold Star Mortgage. I'm looking for everybody. This is the same thing I said last week, but I'm just going to double down on it. Everybody who's thinking about buying next year, who wants to hold off, I'd like for you to call me now. Let's just have a basic conversation. Do the soft credit pull that doesn't hurt your credit or anything along those lines. Heck, I don't even want that. I just want to chat with you, reach out. Let's put together a game plan for 2024 for your purchase ideas and needs.
Go ahead, Becca.
I'm Becca Ponce with Goosehead Insurance. If you are seeing any increases on your rates right now and you'd like to shop, please reach out to me and see if we can either save you money or you might be in the best place possible.
And if you are looking for your rates and want to reduce your rates, but ultimately it might be better to sell your home, feel free to reach out to me. Again, I'm Matthew Kemps with Lone Wolf Realty Group at Spyglass Realty. As always, you're going to see all of our phone numbers here. Becca's, we're going to add you somewhere right around here.
Cool.
Feel free to please subscribe. Give us a like. It helps people find the videos a little bit easier. All of our content information will also be down in the description. And thanks, everyone, for listening.
There it is. Yeah, why insure your home when you can sell it?